Hello, welcome back to JKPRising. Today's going to be part 1 of 2 regarding this discussion of Halo Infinite, that a feature that no one in my opinion is really talking about, which is the lack of support for theater mode in Halo Infinite, but not just Halo Infinite, but mostly in the last decade. I know that MCC has a workable theater mode, but I think that's just because it was already working in the Bungie era of Halo games. Although the MCC version of theater mode is still missing features. Like, I remember in the original 360 version of Halo 3 and Halo Reach, you could actually save games. When I used to make machinima as a kid, or 10 years ago, I would act out all these films in Halo for a machinima series, or maybe for a gameplay highlight clip. And then, I'm busy that day because as a kid, you have so much time and you are doing so many things. Especially now as you get older, that gets even more insane. But I would save gameplay clips to come back to later, and then they would actually save to like your hard drive. There is no feature like that in Halo MCC, and if there is, it doesn't work for me. I'll save a clip and then I'll come back maybe like a week or two later and it's gone. So when I made my raid machinima, I literally had to act it out and film it immediately, otherwise it would have vanished. So having that nice sense of stability would have been nice for MCC's theater. But like I said, MCC's theater works, but it's not the best. There's definitely features stripped out from the Xbox 360 version. But this video is not necessarily about machinima. It's mostly about the content creation aspect of what theater mode brings to the community. This is going to be part 1 of this discussion. I want to do this raw reaction, which I think people are enjoying. And it's also a way for me to get this out because I actually have to head out and upgrade my PC in like 4 hours and I won't have a computer all weekend. But hey, I wanted to get this video out to you guys before that happens. And then part 2 will be a more in-depth discussion with actual edited clips and stuff like that, where I can really make my point across. But today, I just want to express my raw emotion to the lack of theater support in Halo Infinite, a feature that I don't think really anyone's talking about. So why is theater mode such an important deal? Well, theater mode was introduced, I believe, in Halo 3 along with Forge, and it kind of was a tool that worked with everything else. People would make fun maps in Halo 3 to play with their friends, or in my case, make sets for storytelling, like Machinima does offer. And then you would go into Forge mode and you would make your sets or your custom games. And then you'd go into custom games and you would act out your scene, or you would, play with your friends and have a good time. And I guess that's where modes like Cops and Robbers came out, Zombies, Fat Kid, Jenga, all these classic modes that eventually carried over to like Halo Reach and so on and so forth. And then you would go into theater mode, which had a really cool feature I think only Halo 3 had at the time, where you could actually watch back your amazing compilations with your friends, up to 4 people, on Xbox 360, mind you. Comparing Xbox 360 to like Xbox Series X, like 360 was so underpowered, but it was able to still do that compared to, Xboxes of today. But I feel like those features are 100% ignored because I don't think Halo Reach even allowed you to do that. So it was a unique feature for Halo 3 at the time. And you could watch back your compilations with your friends, and there's just something cool about like having a fun, custom game with your friend, and then you go back and you just watch it together like a community, which is what Halo was back then. Right now, I think the community is definitely split. Like, I wouldn't say it's like a collective community. I think we all have different opinions on what we want from Halo going forward, like me. And we don't really have that anymore with the newer Halo games, theater mode. And I think theater mode serves a purpose, like I said, beyond machinima. I use theater mode to make machinima because that's actually how I got into filmmaking. I like to tell stories as a kid. I still do as a 29-year-old guy. But back then, I didn't really have the money that I do now to support all these creative elements that I have of today. And I was able to craft a story with a game engine that I loved, and I was able to get that out. And I still do that to this day with my show, Rain Series 3. Please feel free to check it out if you like Halo Machinima. And it was a way for me to express myself, and it was a way for me to express storytelling without a budget. On a budget of $0.00. I was able to tell a story. But other people use theater mode for other than machinima, but they also used it for highlight compilations or gameplay compilations, or just the beauty of Halo and like ASMR, or just like they used it for as much as they could, whether it be storytelling, actual gameplay, or maybe a mix between the two. And it was a way of player expression. And it also was free advertising. Hey, look at our awesome game. Look at what this fan made. You can make that in our game. Does that look fun? Come over and play our game. Free advertisement. And it was also a part of the social aspect, which also contradicts the whole Halo is competitive at its core. Theater mode adds that whole social aspect. But even theater mode was good for competitive players, because then they could go back and see like, oh, how did I die from that player? Let me go back and look. Or if I'm really into Halo, let me like scan the map and like really figure this map out and try to get better at this game. So theater mode served its purpose from both a social perspective and a competitive perspective, especially when the mode worked, because then you could actually see like everything happening in the game without anything crashing or any lag. Or one common feature in new Halo games now is you'll go watch a theater mode and you'll play it, and then you're watching it and you're like, wow, this is like really different from the game I just played. Oh, it's because I'm not watching me as a player. I'm watching someone else play, which is cool, but when you want to watch yourself, it's annoying. Like, you'd watch yourself playing and then you would die, and then when the person responds, it's not you, it's someone else. That's so frustrating. You know, if you're doing that on purpose with other Halo games, that's fine. You can see like other players' perspective, and that's cool. Or see the enemy's perspective, that's cool. But when it's broken and it does that without you wanting to, that's a problem. Or when it loads up and crashes and doesn't work, that's a problem. Or when your shots you're firing in the game are different as they appear in theater mode, like in Halo Infinite's theater mode. You'll like someone will shoot and like it looks like your shots are not firing on target. It's like the theater mode of Infinite can't keep up with the real time of the actual game. But other Halo games are able to do that perfectly, or at least have very minimal to no lag. So I'm not sure if that's like a networking code problem, or it just goes back to the whole core fundamental of Halo Infinite being broken. But my main point that I really want to drive across in this raw reaction video is that by not having a theater mode, regardless of not having forge mode or working custom games, not having a proper theater mode is robbing future content creators to express themselves. When I was younger, Halo Reach came out in 2010. That was 11 years ago, so I was 17, 18 years old. I was able to express myself with storytelling, which was machinima, and again, that led me into my career today. Because of a working theater mode, it really changed my entire life on how I see the world now, because I'm now into a medium that I love, and it's storytelling, video, very cinematic, very expressive. Halo theater mode let me do that as a young kid, and I'm thankful for that. If there was no theater mode, my whole life could be different today. And I feel like that's what's really missing in today's community of Halo is 343's lack of social features like theater mode are robbing future content creators to express themselves, because now you don't really have an outlet to show off that cool gameplay clip, to maybe tell a story through a machinima perspective and draw in an audience, and then you discover, wow, I love storytelling. Wow, I love voice acting. Wow, I love set design. Wow, I love, I don't know, graphic design, something creative, anything like that. Or even producing. I love to set up a budget and make something happen. So not having those core fundamental features, you're really robbing this new generation of what I had as a kid. And I feel like that's what Halo was always about. It's not just double kills and killing sprees and Team Slayer and SWAT and firefight and custom games. It's a community about expressing yourself, whether it be through gameplay or machinima or some other aspect of theater mode that I didn't even think of. So I really think Halo going forward, whether it be Infinite, if they decide to fix it, or if it's the next Halo game, we really need to get back to the social aspect of Halo, because it's free advertising, but it's also a great way for players to express themselves. And I think that's what Halo's truly missing. The lack of a theater mode in Halo is robbing content creators and future content creators of their potential, in my opinion, and I think that's very wrong. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This is a very short video. I'll come out with a part 2 where I have actual clips and references and what Bungie said back in the day about theater mode and everything else in between. But I am short on time today, so please, if you like this video, let me know and stay tuned for more videos on this channel. Also, I do want to branch out to other videos, other types of games and stuff like that. I have some ideas in my head, but I will slowly get to that as time goes on. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the support on the previous Halo videos, and stay tuned for more videos on JKPRising. Have a good one.